I'm Steve Barnes. I'm the process expert based in Tasmania, Australia, and I service Australia by and large and other places as well. I'd like to talk for a moment about the way that businesses do projects. I've seen a lot of project management methodologies come up over the years, like Prince and Agile and so on, Scrum. And those things are largely good for projects, can be good for software. We seem to lack a solid business approach to a lot of things though. And that's something that I really focus on. And when I walk into a project and I look at what's happening, I'll often see the mechanics of the project happening. I can see the organisation, I can see, maybe an org model there so that we know who holds what positions, and people are dividing and conquering down through the organisation, splitting into departments, getting into eventually functions, I guess, really at the bottom. What do you do? Well, I do this and I do that and I do that. What is often lacking and what lacks clarity in a big way is the interactions between the roles and the value that they add to the organisation. So I can walk in and look at the capital that an organisation's already got, and what I'll see is divide and conquer, and what do you do for your job? What is lacking though is the value chain, the flow of value through the organisation. That's something I often model pretty much up front. The other thing I like to model is the interactions, and I used to use Six Sigma business interaction models, but I must say that at this stage I'm using a BPMN standard called a conversation diagram. And the conversation diagram says who's talking to who and why. And the why bit turns out to be processes many times. Occasionally a function, but many times a process. And you can pick out maybe 3 or 4 roles that are involved in doing something together, and you can see that on that kind of conversation model, and out pops a process. Now, having a process is not the beginning and the end of things, because of course you've got to know what information you're dealing with as well. You've got to have a good idea of your organisation and your roles. You've got to have a clear view of the value you're delivering and how you want to deliver that value. So in terms of Tracy Wiersma's approach, it's either product, or it's customer intimacy, or it's operational efficiency. Those sorts of strategic inferences have to work out in processes if you're going to do what you say you intend to do. So I have something on my website that is about modelling. You'll find a page there that talks about modelling the enterprise for managers, something like that. I've forgotten the exact page, but you'll find it. And that runs through a number of models and how they interact. Talks about customer journey diagrams as well, and service blueprints. So go and have a look at that. And if you are starting a project and you reckon you've got your ducks lined up, I offer a 3-day project startup that actually goes into the top end of your project and looks at it to make sure that it makes sense and you've got all your ducks lined up, all your bases covered. You might be surprised what I can find in 3 days, really surprised. So do yourself a favour. If you have a program running and you might have it staffed and all the rest of it, but a lot of times people are still a little bit uncertain about how they're going to go, call me. I will put 3 days in with you, and we will confirm the areas that are great, catch the areas that are not, and reshape the way that you look at the top end of your project and the context of the organisation and the value that you deliver. I'm Steve Barnes. I'm the process expert. Happy to work on Teams or Zoom globally. So I'm available anywhere. https://theprocess.expert. That's it, theprocess.expert. Thanks for watching.